Hi everyone, it's Shorty, and this is my first live. I'm doing the live reading for your sun sign as we are in Leo starting today. So if today's your birthday, happy birthday. I'll be uploading your birthday video later. So as usual, I am here with the complete book of the Zodiac, and I'm going to read your entry. So if you are a Leo, this is for you. And Leos were born between July 22nd and August 23rd. Again, happy birthday. A Leo's greatest gift is his or her natural buoyancy. No matter what misfortune may befall them, Leos always maintain faith in humanity and trust in life's hidden magic. By burning these two inner flames, Leos cannot help but bring light and warmth to the lives of others. Leos love to be admired. They can't help it. They're just built that way. The trouble is that they're also headstrong, highly strung, and able to annoy people without meaning to. So while they can easily attract the attention they want, they don't always attract the respect which ought to come with it. This is not helped by the fact that Leos can be strong about wanting their own way and difficult when they don't get it. Other people are like this too, but Leos don't manage to hide their feelings well. It's the chief Leo failing, but the best Leo asset. Leos may not be able to mask their less acceptable emotions, but they're equally unable to disguise their nicer ones. A happy Leo radiates enough warmth to defrost a refrigerator. With a sunny disposition, there's normally such contagious enthusiasm to be enjoyed in a Leo's company. Sadly, though, some people find the Leo's equilibrium upsetting. They mistake the self-contained smile for insensitivity. However, Leos feel deeply and care passionately. They know that once they let go of their cheery veneer, they'll unleash an avalanche of uncomfortable emotion. You'll see the truth of this when a Leo gives you a present, for Leos never hold back feelings or checkbooks. If there's a chance to give, and when giving to a Leo, neither should you. All right, so let's read about home. Somehow, the finest things in life will always find their way into a Leo's lifestyle, but Leos love to share the best of everything with those they care for. Leos are famed for their generosity, but also for their sense of self-importance. What could suit you better than a country estate, complete with antiques, tennis courts, and an indoor swimming pool? It's just the thing to go with your chauffeur, and of course to entertain your friends in impressive style. Delusions of grandeur? Absolutely. Every healthy Leo needs plenty of those. Your current abode may not fit the bill exactly, but I'd like to bet it's the swankiest place on the street, or more relevantly, that you think it is. Leos basically see themselves as the Joneses with whom everyone else needs to keep up. So now we'll move on to clothes. Without exception, Leos dress as if they were playing a part in a play. Most like to be bright and glamorous. All think about their appearance. Do you have a glorious mane of hair that flows in ringlets down your back? If not, why not? Are you ashamed of your link to the biggest cat in the jungle? Are you trying to cultivate a more reserved image? A typical Leo's hair is his or her crowning glory. Its shape, texture, and color should dictate the nature of every single item of clothing and accessory. Leos who, for any reason, wear their hair short have a harder job selecting clothes that feel right. They need to pick deliberately ostentatious outfits in order to project a proper power. On the other hand, those with the locks can just let the rest of the look fall into place. Cars. If you are truly a typical Leo, you're not particularly interested in the question of what kind of car you ought to be driving. The real debate centers around what kind of cap your chauffeur ought to wear. There might also be some concern as to whether your limo needs a fully stocked bar or just a jacuzzi, but otherwise it's simple. You were born to cruise the streets of Hollywood, issuing orders like, just stop here for an hour or so, James. If you haven't reached this desirable position in life, don't worry, there's still time. Meanwhile, you can carry on driving in your typically imperious leonine fashion, as you have the divine right of way and license to ignore everything else on the road. Food. Food for a Leo should be spicy, colorful, and expensive. Leos aren't greedy, but they can't resist a tasty delicacy, even if they aren't hungry. As a Leo ruled by the sun, you will have a natural affinity for citrus fruit, pomegranates, olives, and indeed for pretty much anything that needs a hot climate in which to grow. You're fond of heat in your food too, not necessarily curry or chili, but the sharp, aromatic tang of ginger, peppermint, cinnamon, nutmeg, and mustard. You tend to be more of a nibbler than a muncher, not least because, as a figure conscious calorie watcher, you don't like to pile too much on your plate. Instead, you secretly graze on snacks throughout the day and then burn them all off with your amazing nervous energy. Money. Time is the center of the chief difficulty of almost every economic problem. These words from the classical economist Alfred Marshall sum up all too well the astrological pressure that you as a Leo often seem to face. The fact that their author was born under your sign gives them extra poignancy. Was he, I wonder, writing purely from a professional standpoint? We astrologers often discuss the irony of leonine finances. We know frequently for comfort, you have an opportunity, but no time to take it. Or you have time on your hands, but no way to do anything constructive with it. You often struggle to introduce a new idea into your world or to bring about a long desired change in circumstances. Next time the going becomes rough and variable, you might like to take comfort from another statement by the same erudite Leo financial expert. A new discovery is seldom fully effective for practical purposes till many minor improvements and subsidiary discoveries have gathered themselves around it. It's the most natural thing in the world for Leos to find their domestic and personal expenses prone to spiral upwards and at the slightest provocation. Unexpected repair bills or travel requirements combined with the desire to maintain rather indulgent habits leave you short of cash. Usually, the syndrome unfolds as follows. You are just about to sell your home or pawn heirlooms when you have an inspiring revelation. You're worth far more than your current lifestyle is enabling you to earn. You will either get a substantial raise, be offered a more lucrative employment elsewhere, or be shown a better, more reliable source of income. The funny thing is that as often as not, the above turns out to be true. Just the job? Actor, athlete, banker, brewer, broker, bookmaker, dancer, entertainer, film star, film director, forester, gambler, goldsmith, heart specialist, jeweler, leisure consultant, mayor, matchmaker, monarch, moneylender, mountaineer, novelty goods salesperson, pop singer, circus ringmaster, or mistress theater owner or usher. 5 ways to cash in. Marry a wealthy man or woman. Divorce them and marry another one. Divorce your second spouse and make the next bimbo or boy toy you want to marry sign a prenuptial agreement. Coolly and calmly invite perfect strangers to give you money. Let the light that's inside you shine, and nature will bring the rest to your feet. 5 ways to branch out. Lead a revolution in a foreign country and become a new ruler. Persuade a television company to let you host your own talk show. Start a fashion trend and watch everyone follow your lead. Star in a movie. Make a hit record. It doesn't matter if you can't sing, just pose. Okay, so now we'll read about love. Leos like to have admirers, but they aren't attracted to people who fawn on them. To win a Leo's love, you must first win his or her respect. There is not a person on the planet who is impervious to the Leo charm, though some fight harder than others to resist it. As a Leo, you are by nature proud and independent. This poses an intriguing question about the kind of partner you ought to be aiming to live your life with. Should they be A, someone supportive and admiring who will give you the freedom you need, B, someone equally independent and strong who will provide you the stimulating challenge you seek, C, someone special who somehow combines both of the above qualities, or D, none of the above, indeed, nobody at all, because ultimately there's no such thing as an ideal match for a Leo? There, in darker moments of disillusionment, you may be inclined to imagine that D is indeed the answer. I can assure you that this is completely untrue, as the bright spark of hope in your heart knows only too well. The key to comfort and long-lasting success in your love life simply involves learning to recognize that romance in the classic heart-stopping, nerve-tingling, pulse-racing sense is simply not a sustainable phenomenon. Real relationships not only have their ups and downs, their strains and stresses, and their moments of complete and total communication breakdown. They have something potentially far more devastating. They have their periods of emptiness, of shallowness, of frustrating vagueness. It's at times like these that both partners tend to be more attracted to the idea of separation, divorce, or extramarital dalliance. But it's at times like these that there's the greatest chance to find depth and empathy. People are never happy to have their partner push them into talking when they don't want to talk, sharing when they don't want to share, or loving when they feel they have nothing to give. But there's not a person in the world who cannot be coaxed or tempted into feeling better if his or her partner is truly prepared to show enough sympathy, support, and understanding. The trouble is that, understandably, you tend to feel you want to receive all this rather than be obligated to give it. So don't feel obligated to give it. Feel inspired. Try a little harder and let that ferocious Leo love of independence be what encourages you to persevere when others might give up, rather than stalk off into the jungle in search of a more superficially appealing mate. All right, so the last section is a sideways look at your sign. Leos are warm, generous, lively, sweet-natured people with hearts of gold and nerves of steel. They are full of fun, soft as butter, sweet as honey, and sharp as lemons. Leos can take anything the world throws at them, anything that is except, perhaps, advice. Offering advice to a Leo is like offering gloves to a fish. They're totally pointless. Leos, you see, hate to admit that something is wrong or that they can't cope. They like to walk tall and show the world that they have endless confidence in themselves. Because of this, they often give the impression of being head over heels in love with their own self-image. It's really not fair, though, to call them arrogant or vain. A better, more accurate word would be proud. A Leo is as lost without dignity as a dentist is without a drill. In fact, if it weren't for their pride and perhaps their stubbornness, Leos would be perfect. Get on the right side of a Leo and you'll have a firm friend for life. Leos are loving and lovable, humorous and human, excitable and exciting. Get on the wrong side of a Leo, however, and you'll live to regret it. When crossed, Leos are more than just stubborn. In the same way that, for example, superglue is more than just glue. A Leo with a point to prove is rock solid, a living example of determination, will, and perseverance. These characteristic qualities are, of course, every bit as good as they are bad. When you need someone to stand up for you, when it's necessary to be steadfast and resolute, or when there's plain speaking to be done, a Leo on your team is the most valuable asset you can have. Leos are loyal, Leos are larger than life, and Leos are also, I am afraid, it must be said, occasionally a bit lazy. Just like the lion in the jungle who sleeps as much as 20 hours out of every 24, the lion in the Zodiac likes to go at a gentle pace. When the lion wakes up and emits a ferocious roar, everyone stands at attention. But when the lion is quietly snoozing, everyone just defiantly, if cautiously, ignores him. So Leos can be stubborn, Leos can be lazy, and most of all, Leos can be proud. It's no accident that the collective noun for a group of Leos is a pride. But when all is said and done, despite these faults, Leos are still wonderful people. Leo is ruled by the brightest star in the sky, the sun. And potentially every Leo is a shining star here on Earth. There's something very attractive and pleasurable about basking in sunlight or basking in the warmth of a Leo's company, which pretty much amounts to the same thing. Leos have sunny dispositions and carry all the qualities of their personality up front. They don't bother to hide their character defects, and they don't bother to hide their light. As a result, they shine, and because of that, others are quickly drawn to them. That's why most social circles have a Leo at the center, why so many Leos find themselves surrounded by fans and admirers, and why such extraordinary large number of showbiz celebrities are born under the sign of Leo. It's true, Leos have outrageous tempers which flare up suddenly and burn with terrifying ferocity, and these always die down just as quickly. They are never used to express vindictiveness, only spontaneous, justified anger. Okay, so that's everything that I have for all of you Leos out there that are getting ready to, or maybe today, celebrating your birthday. I hope that you found this information helpful, and it is particularly wonderful that the sun is currently in Leo for your birthday. So I hope that gives you an extra blast of good energy, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you for taking the time to watch it, and of course, I want you to know that I love you.